Welcome to Secure Management Faculties, where your mind is key before you unlock what is seen. Secure Agent Dreyfus. Welcome to the V-Law playlist. And as promised below, getting the introductions out of the way. Sell your guns tab, send your gun out, make that extra currency. Follow the link. Below will be the support Cash App link for all those who ask me about support. Again, I want to remind you the function of this Cash App link is going to be based off of support and or fulfilling the initial motivation to support. So I ask you as a rule of discipline, and I'm going to make sure I reiterate this, to send for a reason. And also send a note exactly for what that reason was. I don't care if it's a simplistic thank you for a piece of lesson, a jewel, if you will, in information, how I put it out in this expression. Regardless, send it for a reason. If you just say support or whatever, what it is, whatnot. And if you can, be a little detailed in parentheses. You can put a blanket name over it, keeping it anonymous, if you will. And I could place that to the forefront with much thanks for that support form of energy through the form of currency. So I want to get to the topic, and we'll be talking about moving forward, or movement of moving forward in the condition of you being your enemy to stop you. This self-defense lesson is from a transparency one, coming from the fact that you are your own biggest enemy. And we're going to talk about one of the things that you sort of assault yourself with, and you're going to have to defend yourself against in the same space. I've run this up a touch bit in consideration towards or in some videos, right? Sprinkled it a bit. And we're going to talk about, again, the concept of what it means to already be in your position before you get to your position. How is that possible? Already being at your destination before you get to the destination. How is that possible? Find too many human beings on this planet are constantly, continuously holding themselves for a goal threshold that they didn't agree to themselves, that they're acknowledging they're taking the risk to hold off their experiences with that career or construct mental platform. They're holding themselves off before that goal. And then when they get to that goal, they're trying to make up what they didn't establish or experience during their traveling period to that goal. What makes this your enemy is because you're holding yourself back from feeling the inertia and after effects and the developmental um, perspirations, if you will, of that goal in progress and while being there already, right? I've received questions in regards to that, right? In motivational capacities, and we're going to consolidate that here. Is that you are your biggest enemy, right? And so, without relaying too much, um, like I said, the background for me in this time period right now has been shifting, and I've conductively moved in even more alignment, and I was still in alignment before in my background career setting. If you want to take a look at that, just go to my direct page, Dreyfuse D. Smith. Of course, I didn't make no immaculate announcement about it. It doesn't make any sense to do so, and it could, right? I just prefer to keep things as they are because I'm already in that alignment. And so at the end of the day, you must understand your goal must be obtained now. And if you don't have the imprint of the shell of now, of obtaining your goal now, you still can obtain it now. The first layer of obtaining your goal is making a decision. It's just that simple. And as you make that decision, you must make the environment of set decision. If you're going to wait, let's put this in example. You want to be a police officer, right? Let's say that, right? You're going to wait to pretend to be a police officer when you get there, or you're going to actually have the mental requirements, regardless, fail or not, because life is iffy, right? You run into different control apparatuses that value certain things or have limited or expansive perceptions to whichever perception you need to be able to view you to be considered to be successful. That is what that is. But the point is, what I'm getting at is you need to already be there in a condition of doing that craft that you consider to be important to you. Why are you holding yourself back just to be another person and then pretend to be that person when you get there? If you've noticed, if you've had crowds or groups of people, friends or whatever, family members or whatever, and you may have went through a process, right? uh, Substantially, you may have felt some sort of psychological resistance. That resistance has come in play because you optimally decided to change and you had the position to change, and they may feel like you have not paid the price uh, substantially based off of your activities that you may have done immensely prior to such pedestaling, if you will, to where you're putting yourself now. So you need to make that sacrifice early on, not for their sake, but for your sake of your own authenticity. And you're not just putting on another mask to pretend like, oh, I was doing this. And, literally yesterday you were just, doing something else entirely different outside of that set of motivation that you wanted to feel and do and act and all that stuff. But this is not attacking that. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep it simple and shred it straight down to the point. To exist in your destination while getting to your destination is to be your destination. I'm not talking about just keep a form of multiple thoughts in your mind about chanting to yourself about being in that destination. I'm talking about the actual things that take of interest to the position or situation that you want to be in, and actively put yourself naturally, of course, in that pathway of that information, right? Like I said, I've never been outside of my goal. I've always been in the paramilitary security protection field and always done some sort of officer-based work in conjunction with the transformations that it comes from, like security transport of currency, and you can even do loss prevention and things of this nature. You can run and do mall patrol. You can run and do things like subsidized housing. And each one of those have their lucrative experiences and lacks. But the whole point is, at the end of the day, what are you doing actively now, continuously? And what are you doing now that is not preventing you from being yourself now before you get to another designated goal? Because you are literally passively choosing to take the risk to not be as your goal before you get there. And then when you get there, you're still going to have to develop as your goal when all that work could have been done if you were deciding to be your goal now. All right, secure management faculties, where your mind is key before you unlock what is seen. Secure Agent Dreyfus, again, appreciate everyone for this vlog upload. Secure management faculties, sell your guns tab down below. Hit the link, follow the link, sell your guns out. Again, the cash out, if you, the cash app, if you are sending any type of support uh, form in that currency expectation or whatnot, just make sure that it's sent out under the conditions for a reason. And remember, the whole point is, don't become your biggest enemy by trying to hold back, right? And if you're taking the risk to hold back, make that conscious choice, but also understand the consequences of that. Be in your position while moving to your position, and you will never be out of position. It's that simple. See you on the next upload.